It was 2 a.m. again. The room was pitch black, except for the cold blue light of my phone reflecting on my face. My eyes were burning, but my thumb just kept scrolling. Next to me was an empty bag of chips. I knew I had to be up in 4 hours for work, but I just couldn't put the device down. When the 6 a.m. alarm finally hit, it felt like a physical punch to the chest. I dragged myself out of bed, drank 3 cups of coffee just to keep my eyes open, and drove to a job where I spent the next 8 hours existing like a zombie. I was irritable, slow, and completely stuck. And the worst part? As soon as I got home, exhausted and drained, I would do it all over again. Eat junk food late at night, stare at a screen until 2 a.m., and repeat the misery. I thought I was just naturally lazy. I thought I lacked the hustle that successful people had. But my wake-up call didn't come from a motivational quote. It came from pure humiliation. One afternoon, my manager pulled me into his office and closed the door. He looked at me with a mix of pity and concern. He asked if I was dealing with a severe depression or if I had a substance abuse problem. He said I looked sick, that my eyes were completely dead, and my performance had hit rock bottom. I walked out of that office and went straight to the bathroom. I looked in the mirror. He was right. I had dark circles under my eyes. My skin looked gray. I looked 10 years older than I actually was. I was literally destroying myself. That night, instead of scrolling on social media, I desperately searched for why I was doing this to myself. And I found a term that hit me like a ton of bricks. Revenge, bedtime procrastination. I realized I didn't stay up late because I wasn't tired. I stayed up late because I felt like I had absolutely no control over my daytime. I was spending all day working a job I didn't love, following someone else's rules. So, when the night came, my brain refused to sleep. I stayed awake scrolling, trying to steal back a few hours of freedom. I was taking revenge on my own schedule. But that late-night freedom was a complete illusion. I wasn't stealing time from my boss. I was borrowing time from my tomorrow, and I was paying it back with a devastating interest rate. My brain fog, my lack of energy, my misery, it was all because my brain was starved of recovery. I had to fix my sleep before it was too late. So I built a system. Step 1, the hard cutoff. I realized that late-night eating was destroying my deep sleep. Your body cannot rest if it is busy digesting heavy food at midnight. So, I made a strict rule. No food after 8 p.m. None. This let my core temperature drop naturally, which is a biological requirement for deep sleep. Step 2, breaking the screen addiction. This was the hardest part. I bought a cheap digital alarm clock and put it next to my bed. I moved my phone charger to the kitchen. When I went to the bedroom, the phone stayed behind. I am not going to lie to you. The first week was absolute hell. I laid in the dark, staring at the ceiling for 2 hours. My brain was screaming for the cheap dopamine of social media. I felt actual physical anxiety being away from my screen, but I forced myself to stay in bed. By night 5, the anxiety faded. By night 7, I was falling asleep in 10 minutes. Step 3, winning the morning. Because I was finally sleeping 8 solid hours, waking up stopped being painful. Instead of rushing out the door in a panic, I used the first 20 minutes of the day to get natural sunlight in my eyes to reset my biological clock. The results were explosive, but not in the way you might think. Within a month, the brain fog completely vanished. At my 9-to-5 job, I wasn't just surviving, I was operating at a totally different level. My focus was so sharp that I started finishing my 8-hour workload in just 3 hours. But here's the secret. I didn't use that extra energy to get a promotion. I used that mental clarity and the energy I had left over after work to start building my own business. I used my recovered mind to build my escape plan. I stopped trying to take revenge on my days because I finally built a life I didn't want to escape from. Sleep is not a sign of weakness. It is not laziness. It is the ultimate biological cheat code. If you want to change your life and escape the matrix, you do not start by working harder. You start by resting better. So, do yourself a favor tonight. Leave the phone in another room. Close your eyes. Your future self is begging you to go to sleep. If this video woke you up, hit the like button and subscribe. We drop new strategies every week to help you level up and buy back your freedom. Now, go get some rest.